Good morning. It is 6:43 a.m. on Thursday, August 29th, 2019. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. How is it almost the end of August already? What? Time flies. That's actually been largely true this summer for me. I think ever since I've been at my new office project, or rather a new work project where I'm not traveling all the time or working from home, and I'm just sort of, I very much consciously had this feeling of I just want to settle into a new routine, and I kind of have, but also sometimes when you get into that new routine, it just makes the time seem to fly by. My days are filled, so I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, it just feels like time is going quickly. In any event, I had salmon for dinner last night. I enjoy. This was a Blue Apron meal, and eating, or rather cooking fish, or even eating it like ordering it at a restaurant, is interesting for me because I very rarely don't enjoy it, and yet it's often not the first thing I think of. So I would very rarely say, I feel like having fish tonight. I want to cook some fish tonight. But when I do, I like it, and I say, oh yeah, I should cook fish more often. And I'm not sure where that mental curb comes from. But in any event, because of, I have many choices with my Blue Apron recipes. This is not an ad for Blue Apron, by the way. I just like it. Because I have many choices, but, I want to try to make sure I'm not eating too unhealthily. The rule I set for myself is that at least one of my 3 recipes every week is going to be some kind of fish or seafood. And then one of the 3 will be vegetarian. And I'm pretty happy with that. But so last night, in any event, was salmon, and it was got some cilantro rice and some pickled carrot and jalapeno salad, and sauteed broccoli, and then this salmon in like a spicy soy glaze, and it was pretty good. But one of the things that occurred to me afterwards is that, cooking fish does produce lingering smell. And so I had my windows open to kind of air out the apartment, but it was also rainy last night. And that just produced this really nice thing where, I had the lights a little bit dim because I was kind of having a relaxed evening where I wasn't expecting too much of myself, and had the windows open. It was sort of cool and rainy outside, and I talked to my dad on the phone, and it was just a very nice, low-key evening. And I often find that, when I feel like I have stuff to do and I feel busy, and then I give myself permission to not do it and not be busy, I often find that I get this stuff done anyway in a less stressful way. And I wish that there was a way to tap that, except that, sometimes you give yourself permission to not do something and it just doesn't get done. And but in any event, it was a nice evening. But one of the other things that occurred to me, though, with salmon was that in season 3 of Legion, which I talked a little bit about a few days ago, I think just earlier this week, right? There was a minor running gag where one of the clues that led a character to where the main character was setting up his whole little commune was a clue about the orange fish, and it kind of ended up leading to this woman who's pregnant, and the baby's name was going to be Salmon. But as she importantly tried to clarify, not the fish, the color. And specifically since the clue had been about the orange fish before, and it's like, I guess there's an orangish quality to salmon when it's like in the seafood, or rather the sushi configuration. But I also kind of don't, it's sort of an orangish pink, right? And so I don't know. But it just occurred to me the slight lateral thinking weirdness of, it's because, the idea of naming someone a name that has two distinct meanings, but actually wanting to, like, why would you not be to get annoyed when people assume it's one meaning over the other? And the discussion, progressed to the idea, well, violet, like, is that the flower or is that the color? I think probably the assumption would be that it's the flower, right? People are not normally named after colors. I don't have any specific profound observation to make about that, except that it was kind of weird and I was thinking about salmon. So I'm going to leave it there and talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.